Alright guys, today we're going to go over how to play Fury Warrior as a Necrolord. I wanted to put together a quick guide for Season 4 of Shadowlands. We're going to go over our Covenants, Soulbinds Conduits, our stat priority, the best races, the best legendaries, where we should put our tier set pieces, our talents, PvP talents, and a couple of the macros I use. My name is Erratic and I've mained a warrior the entire time I've played WoW. This expansion is the first time I've really PvP'd, but I've gone from struggling to get to 1800 to duelist the past 2 seasons, and I'm going to be pushing for Glad the first time this season. There will be time codes where you can skip to any part that you want to in the video. If you finish this video and you feel like it's helped you, please like the video, subscribe to my channel, and come check me out on Twitch. I love chatting with people while I'm playing, and I can answer any questions you have there. So to start off with the Covenants, my personal preference is Necrolord. Kyrian is also a very good pick. If you're wanting more information on Kyrian, I would suggest going to murloc.io to look that up. Here we'll go over Necrolord. We're going to use the Soulbind Plague Divisor Marileth, and then this is the path I've chosen. There's a little bit of flexibility in this Endurance and Conduit slot, and then also going left or right on this path, but this is the path I've chosen. For this first potency, we're going to use Hack and Slash. For this first Endurance, we're going to use Stalwart Guardian. We're going to use Depths of Insanity. In the second potency slot, again here where you have a little bit of flexibility, I prefer Inspiring Presence because it gives you the option of that extra defensive cooldown. Whereas if you did a defensive slot here, it would be either the proc with the Condensed Animosphere, or Brutal Vitality would just add some extra absorption onto your Ignore Pain. Ultimate Form is super important to know how this works and what it does. While channeling Fleshcraft, you are immune to crowd control and regenerate 2% of your health every second. So the entire time you're generating or using Fleshcraft, you're immune to crowd control, and if you get it off fully, then you get an additional 3 seconds of crowd control and health regeneration. This will a lot of times get interrupted, but Fleshcrafting can save games because of this ability right here. For this third potency conduit, we're going to have Veteran's Respute. Again, I prefer this finesse conduit over this endurance conduit. Safeguard, intervene, reduces damage taken by the target by 20%. This is huge for peeling for your second arena partner or even in threes, and can really help your healer recover the game. Yeah, so that's the setup for the conduits. For stat priority, we're going to go Versatility, Haste, Mastery, then Critical Strike. For the best races, for Alliance, it's going to be Human. Horde is going to be Orc. Human is nice just for the Trinket Stun, and Orcs are amazing for the 20% passive stun reduction, as well as the additional offensives. Our best legendaries are going to be Unity and Signet of Tormented Kings. Signet of Tormented Kings is huge because every time you use Recklessness, you're going to get a Root Breaker, either Avatar or Bladestorm. It's extra damage and it also breaks a root. And then same thing with Bladestorm, you're going to get some extra damage with that. This means every minute and 30 seconds you have 2 root breaks, which is just absolutely crazy. Bladestorm's on a 1-minute cooldown, so it's even a little more often than that. As far as the best slots for the legendaries to go in, this season Conquest gear will out item level the legendaries, so you'll want your legendaries in the lowest statted slots as you can. For Fury Warriors, the best slots you can probably put your legendaries in is your ring slot and a neck slot, which frees up all your other slots to be Conquest gear and have higher stats. For talents, this is going to be my default build. All of these are pretty much set in stone. The only tier where we have a little bit of flexibility is going to be the second tier. I know in the past that Anger Management was an acceptable talent choice, but with our new 2 and 4 set bonuses, Reckless Abandon is just super important. So we're going to have Sudden Death, Stormbolt, Frenzy, Warpaint, Cruelty, Bladestorm, and Reckless Abandon. I know it can be pretty tempting to take Bounding Strike as extra mobility, but I think in pretty much every case, Warpaint is just 100% better. Massacre is just not as good for Fury Warriors as it is for Arms Warriors because Execute has a lower cooldown and it's not even our best ability. We'll always use Rampage over Execute. Now, for some comps, you might want to play Double Time, but you really only want to play Double Time if you're also playing the Warbringer PvP talent. Otherwise, Stormbolt is better. If you're playing double DPS 2s, is really the only time you'll use Impending Victory. There might be some threes comps where you want to use Impending Victory just for some extra healing, but I would say Stormbolt is a very good default pick, and you don't really need to waver from it. You don't want to. For PvP talents, I will use Disarm anytime I'm against a warrior, a rogue, a paladin, or a death knight. Other than that, you don't really need Disarm. Enduring Rage is a pretty good safe damage increasing talent. Master and Commander is an okay defensive talent if you find that you're needing that. Again, Warbringer will want to only use that really when we have double time, so we get the most value out of it. The rest of these, I don't ever really find any use. The other two PvP talents, Battle Trance, will basically give you rage and heal you anytime you use Raging Blow twice on a target in a row. Warriors aren't generally just switching back and forth between targets constantly. It is something you do need to do, but this just gets you so much value, and you'll look at your meters and see how much healing you're doing every game, and a lot of it's coming from Battle Trance. Slaughterhouse is huge. Reduces the healing the target receives by 5% for 6 seconds, stacking up to 8 times. If you're sticking on one target, this is almost constantly active unless you're getting stunned or CC'd. So it's very easy to keep up 40% healing reduction, especially when you're bursting and you're just full of rage. Because the other thing to note here is Rampage hits for 4 times. So when I attack something in arenas, I just need 2 Rampages within 6 seconds to have that 40% healing reduction. Warrior does really well with any healer, pretty much. I've also had some good success in 2s playing with a Ret Paladin, playing with Prot Paladins. You can play with Enhanced Shamans. 3v3 comps, I would say that the 2 easiest 3v3 comps to push with are going to be Ret Warrior and Enhanced Shaman Warrior Healer. And as far as macros, some of the most important macros that I feel that you have are canceling your Bladestorm whenever you want to pummel, and then also having intervene macros for your arena partners. I like to hard macro their name into the intervene macro, but you can also set up arena party macros. Stormbolt macro, same thing. I like to have cancel or Bladestorm in there because if I'm wanting to stun someone, I don't want to have to be waiting 2 seconds for my Bladestorm. I'm usually wanting it to happen immediately. There's a lot you can do with macros with warriors. I honestly could be doing a lot more, but to me, the most important macros are to cancel or a Bladestorm on your pummel so that you can interrupt a healer when you need to, even if you're in the middle of a Bladestorm. I think having a focus target pummel is great so that you can keep damaging a target without having to switch targets to interrupt a healer or a CC. And then I think arena target Stormbolts are super beneficial as well. You could also make those a focus macro. That way you can Stormbolt a target without having to switch your damaging target. Like I said, there's a bunch more macros that you can use. I think those will cover what you need to know if you're just getting started with Fury Warrior. If this guide helped you out at all, please like the video, subscribe to my channel, and let me know down in the comments if you have any questions that I could answer. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you in the arenas.